Hello, Zooies and Zoo families. Welcome to the 2021 school year. I know we're starting off virtually, but we're going to make Zoo School as awesome as possible, like we normally would, in hopes that we can all see you guys face to face when we do return to that part as well. My name is Mr. Lumvick. I'm the principal here, and in the upcoming days, we will have many videos where you can meet your teachers and the Zoo School staff, as well as some of the Zoo partners that we have at John Ball Zoo as well. So right now, I just again want to welcome everybody to the 2021 school year, and I want to go over a few key points from GRPS that we need to address, but also want to note that when we start moving a little bit closer to the 25th, the start of school, be on the lookout for a few other Zoo school-only videos with updated information, and we can get any questions answered the best that we can. So we are currently on Zoom right now. So I'm going to share my screen. And if you notice, one of our Zoo slogans is "No Lion, I Go to Zoo School." So I've got my friend the lion behind us here. So I'm going to share my screen really quick to go over the PowerPoint with everybody. Sorry. Okay. So for the distance learning plan, a few overview. Here at Zoo School, our Zoo way of learning is to create independent, self-directed learners that support project-based learning, who are environmentally conscious with a global perspective with Zoo partners, develop personal intrinsic motivation, and encourage creativity. Also things here at Zoo School that we'll be able to continue doing virtually that we normally would do is our partnership with the John Ball Zoo and access to all of the parts of the zoo that we would normally have when we would be face-to-face. So we're looking at different behind-the-scene access videos where we can still engage and interact through a computer. Also virtual zoo lessons with some help from our Zoo School staff, as well as some mini content ideas and interactions with John Ball Zoo staff members as well. Live Q&A sessions with zookeepers and the staff members there. Vet Ryan is actually a former Zooey who always comes by multiple times throughout the year to chat with our Zooies during the school year. So stay tuned with that, and we'll continue doing those. Video streams and feeds of animals. Zoology and project-based learning assessments, and our zoo demos and presentations where students would normally get to go up into the zoo and interact with animals and ask zookeepers specific questions based off of the content and topics learning for that week. We also have a commitment to equity where we want to promote at Zoo School a space where students learn to actively participate as productive members of a democratic society. Zoo wants to be a model school where equity and inclusion are infused in every aspect of our school landscape for all students and staff. And we're an organization where biases are recognized, challenged, and eliminated to create a supportive and inclusive environment so barriers to success are removed. And the zoo community is one in which that we're diverse, where diversity is understood, valued, and respected by all. To kind of quickly go through the GRPS plan overview. So virtual learning for the first 9 weeks of school. Our intent as a district is to have one-to-one computer and internet access for all of our students. And the learning management platform that we will be using at Zoo School is the Google Classroom's G Suite, part of the 612 platform. So we'll continue using that. With Google Classroom, there will be a Zoo building-based Google Classroom where parents can be added as well as a kind of a one-stop question for all things zoo. During phases 5, 6, and possibly phase 4, when the district resumes face-to-face instruction, there's a recommendation for an A-B schedule. Within this schedule, it'll allow for half the students to attend school every other week or 2 consecutive days to be face-to-face, and students not attending in person will continue their distance learning virtually. And as we update the district's plan, we'll continue to collaborate with stakeholders before making final decisions. We'll make sure that all safety guidelines pertaining to the Safe Schools, Michigan 2021 Return to School Roadmap are followed. Meal distribution sites. Meals are available for all GRPS students. Parents and or students can pick them up. Meal distribution begins on August 24th. Students have the opportunity to receive breakfast and a lunch for each school day. Days of distribution will be Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And locations around the city are at Alger, Buchanan, Burton, Campus, Cesar Chavez, City High Middle, Dickinson, East Leonard, GR Ford, CA Frost High, Harrison, Kent Hills, Ottawa Hills High School, Sherwood, Sibley, and Westwood. The times for meal distribution between 12 and 1:30. Parent empowerment. So parents, we really want to engage as many of you as we can. Schools are the first point of contact. So if you can make sure that you reach out to Zoo School, that would be great. Tech support, online platforms. Again, we're using Google Classroom. And any questions with tech can be directed towards 301-1111 or email at distancelearninghelpdesk@grps.org. Parent support and student engagement can also be found at parents.grps.org as well, which is our parent university. Social and emotional learning, parents, again, can be emailed to parents.grps.org. In translation, interpretation at our EL office is 819-2129. We have family support services as well at Zoo School, and any questions regarding 504 plans or IEPs can be asked at 819-2185. Device distribution. So key things to kind of remember here. Distribution will start on August 17th and run through October 23rd. Distribution sites are at Gerald R. Ford, City, Harrison, Burton Middle School, and 1340 Thomas Southeast, which is the former Campus Early Childhood Center. Dates for distribution will be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 9 to 6 p.m. Again, devices access. So students and families who do not have access to the above requirements should contact 301-1111 or by email at distancelearninghelpdesk@grps.org for instructions on how to determine if GRPS device distribution is a solution or to get information about non-technology alternative learning packets provided by classroom teachers. Very important to make sure that we are registered and enrolled at enroll.grps.org as well before we can get devices out to everybody. Special education, high expectations for learning remains in place for all students. Instruction will be synchronous and or asynchronous with accommodations for no or low tech when needed. General concept for students with disabilities is that while their disability remains constant, their needs may be different for distance learning than they are for in-person learning. We'll make sure there's compliance and protections offered to students that remain intact. And we're adhering to the IDEA, Michigan Administrative Rules, and CARES Act governance, as well as guidance being provided by the Michigan Department of Education. English learners, we're going to make sure that we ensure ongoing academic achievement for all English learners by promoting English language proficiency throughout meaningful instruction that integrates both content and language learning, and by valuing our students' rich language and cultural backgrounds. Instruction will be synchronous and or asynchronous with essential grade level English learning language supports, and engage families by providing communication in both English and home languages. Translation and interpretations will be provided as well. To further support the English learners and families, we will communicate and engage with community agencies as well. So Zoo School will follow the PK8 weekly schedule of instruction. And so what that means is there will be synchronous times for the students to connect and have attendance taken on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, where Mondays and Fridays will have a little bit of a mixture of connection with both of our Zoo teachers, as well as asynchronous learning through the fine arts and PE departments as well. There will be updates provided as soon as we have a better line of scheduling. that we'll post to the Zoo families as well to communicate what our Mondays and Fridays look like too. So again, just another example of kind of the breakdown by hours, where there's 3 hours of synchronous time and 3 hours of asynchronous time available on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. And Mondays and Fridays will be 6 hours of multiple different aspects where all the students can reach out to any of their teachers here at Zoo School or in the Fine Arts PE department as well. Again, there'll be another short video and quick presentation from myself about what that schedule looks like on a weekly basis. School and district information are listed right here. Again, please feel free to call or email the Zoo School, and we can make sure that we give those get any questions answered the best that we can. If, however, we are unable to answer that question and we are unable to answer it quickly, here's some other district information contacts that can be reached as well. Main number is 819-2000. And a living FAQ that can be found at grps.org will have constant updates on different questions and different answers that are presented and asked. And then any clarifying questions can be emailed to communications@grps.org. Excuse me. With that being said, again, welcome to Zoo School. We're planning a great year for everybody and want as much Zoo School access and availability and why everyone comes to Zoo School to be a part of this one-year program during their 6th grade year, to have as much engaging and interactive activities like we normally would. So we'll make sure that we have as many engaging activities virtually that we would meet if we were face-to-face. So stay on the lookout for more videos. But again, if any questions, please feel free to email me at lundvickb@grps.org. Or feel free to call the Zoo School as well, and we can answer any questions. Looking forward to seeing everybody, and stay tuned for more videos as we keep moving forward. Have a great rest of your summer, and we'll see you August 25.